thought I had a perfect intro, and then I looped my audio back in. Oh, happy Friday. It is the weekend at last. It's good to be here at last. I fixed the audio. Okay. I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. The show must go on.
The show goes on. This is what you do. When you do it live, there's no, wait, I need to go back. Let me fix that. Nothing. It's saved forever. It's immortalized on YouTube.
It is.
For everyone to see and make fun of. So.
Screen captures, you name it. It's out there.
You know what else is immortalized in history?
The winner of the internet?
The winner of the internet. Portland Trailblazers TV. Yes. First in chat here, I guess it's daring of him to do this because it's the weekend and he has the whole weekend shift. We're not going to, there's no Saturday show that can, relief shows up and spells him for a bit. It's all him on Monday morning. So thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Good luck.
I have work tomorrow for a little bit, so I hope everything is in place. So I'm going to need the internet.
Yeah. And I plan on doing lots of posting selfies, things like that. So please it's going to be great. Oh, it's good to see. There's so many awesome people, so many names in chat right now that are here. Hope every single one of you is having just a fantastic start to your weekend. Yes. Debbie says, Scott, I love your shirt. We coordinated colors. I got the text. Thomas, he said, I'm going light blue. I said, fine. The only thing I've got is my Matthew Harris Law shirt. He said, that's fine. So we did it. Although there's a wrinkle in my background here, which really gives away my green screen. Do you see that?
Oh, I didn't even notice. It looked like a shadow from a palm frond.
Now you can't unsee it.
No,
it is. That is. Sorry, you're right. It is a shadow from the palm frond. I just looked up and saw the swaying in the breeze.
I'm not looking at you. I'm now looking at the wrinkle. That's all I'm doing for the rest of
the show. It's gonna be like, hey, do you notice there's this?
Don't fall out of your chair.
It's back. Now it's worse than it was before.
Oh no!
Oh, it must be the weekend.
You doubled down. Oh goodness. I'm excited for this weekend. I don't know why. I'm excited for this weekend more than any other weekend. And there's no incentive. I'm not doing anything special. There's no barbecues or parties or celebrations or anything.
What's Lyle's favorite movie line?
Ooh.
Right out the gate.
Wow. Question. I'd buy that for $1. What's y'all's favorite movie line? We have to just interrupt and answer the question. This is like rapid fire questions. Thomas, what's your favorite movie line?
So immediately, every time it comes to me, it's from Dumb and Dumber, and it says, Harry, you've had 2 pairs of gloves this whole time, when they're freezing on the scooter driving through the Rockies. I don't know why. That just always comes to mind, and I always use it. It's popular, but not the most popular, and it's not from Star Wars, so that's the one I go with.
I think I won't go with the RoboCop one. I'd probably say my favorite would be probably from Galaxy Quest. I've got one job on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it.
That's a good one.
Like, it describes my life and my responsibilities around the house. I have one job here. It's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. That's a great question, Lillis. I appreciate that right off the bat.
That is a good one. Right out the gate. I hope that doesn't start a trend and we just get rapid fire super chats to abort the script.
I can't screen the questions. they just come in and the voice plays them in our head.
True.
It's wow. I can't believe this is episode 16?
Episode 16. And we've skipped 1 week when I was out of town somewhere. So we've been it's been 17 weeks of the partnership. That's wild to think about.
Yeah, it's gone so fast. It's been so much fun every single time. Nurse for God just gifted a membership. Thank you so much. And Lisa Lama was the winner with the UK flag on there as well. So, yay!
Love it.
Love UK.
Awesome. So, quick question: we know you're going camping all next week.
Yes.
Do you have an update on the live view to whether you can stream and we can have another podcast next week? Where does that stand?
Let me give you the full update. Yesterday afternoon, I wrote a nastygram. I wrote an email to the company that I've given a lot of money to and has done very little in return.
Is this the equivalent of your tree carving?
Yes. I carved their trees, not my trees. I carved their trees,
Okay.
and I laid it out for them and said, "Look, on this date, this, on this date, this. I paid here, a seat here. You say this on your website." I did the whole thing. I clicked send on that puppy, and you get the whoosh sound, and then I checked my email, and like half an hour before, I got an email from them saying, "Hey, we've shipped your whole order. It's on its way. It'll be there in time." And now I can't pull it back. And here I've gone and, punched him, socked him right in the mouth, and they had already shipped my order. I will say, it was the very last minute they could possibly ship my order to get it to me on time. And they knew my schedule. I told them when I was going out of town, and the nice people over at Unlimited IRL, Taylor specifically, replied and he's like, "Hey Scott, just wanted to let you know it has shipped. It's going to arrive on this day." And I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
With kindness.
Yes. So I will say I chose this company. There are many companies that will sell this and this service, but I chose this company because I did get good recommendations on their service, on their after sale service. They're not so good on the between when you order and when you get the product. That's that part. I think get like a 0 out of 5 on that for me.
Struggle bus.
Yeah, it was bad. But yes, it's gonna be, my Levy's gonna be here on Monday, barring UPS strike or something like that.
Right.
When I say that, I shouldn't even mention that.
No, you can't put that in the atmosphere. When do you leave for the camping trip? Are you going to be home to receive the package?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. This is coming down to the wire.
So Monday, I'm gonna be like doing a little live stream thing, watching Brandy at the same time because she's got an awesome interview on Monday. Yeah. So I'm going to be like a little distracted during that time, and I'm also going to be playing with this device. How does this thing work? I need this for tomorrow. So I'm actually going to do my live stream from home on Monday, and possibly Tuesday morning. I don't know. I might have to be driving during my regular drive live time. So we'll figure it out. But yeah.
Well, we know during Monday's stream, if you just jump up and leave the seat, UPS has arrived.
I'm out of here. Headphones go flying. Yep. The microphone's swinging around, hits the camera. That's what's going to happen when that bell rings. It's for me. Answer the door. Don't let him leave. I know they're going to want a signature, and my doorbells do not work. Front and back doorbell do not work. My kids, they used to work. When I bought the house, both doorbells worked fine, but I have 6 kids, and they're like, "Oh, doorbell, that equals toy." Doorbells don't work anymore.
They treat them like your vehicles.
That's very astute of you. Yes, they do. Anyway, super excited. So new toys, new fun, and we have 4 modems I have to initialize. They call them agnostic modems. So they don't have a religion, I guess, but no, they don't have the switch between like being AT&T modem at one moment and then saying, "Oh, there's a better signal on Verizon. I'll switch to Verizon and be a Verizon modem."
Gotcha.
So it should be good. So wherever I go, whatever has the better coverage, will get me set up, and then all 4 together will let me stream to the internet.
That's so awesome. That brings me into my world. That's storm chasers. Mm-hmm. So many of them. They constantly have to switch networks, but they don't have something that will do that. They carry air cards. They pay a subscription to AT&T and Verizon, and they go around the country in certain areas so often. They'll be live streaming, say, "Hey guys, I got to switch from AT&T to Verizon. Verizon's way better in this area. Hang tight." And the stream will, die for 2, 3 to 5 minutes before they reboot. They need that.
Because it can use both, and it can say, even if AT&T only gives you a little tiny bit of service there, you'll say, "I'll take that and I'll add it to what I get from Verizon," and so you can benefit from both at the same time. It builds one big pipe. The only downside is it's only outgoing under contract. The reason I get the cheaper rate for the data, which is it's not cheap, it's like $500 a month, but the cheaper rate for the data is because it's only outgoing. It's a one-way traffic, so I can't then use that to say, and I'm also going to monitor chat with this, and I'll watch my stream or anything. It's just a pipe out, so I still have to have that other hotspot, which I'm using my phone for right now to make sure I'm actually reaching the internet.
So that may not be ideal for them too, because they interact with chat the whole time. When they're not in a heavy situation, right? They're trying to run that and get it going, but
Well, we're going to figure it out, and because I'm going to interact with chat too. I'm going to keep that going. That's
cool.
That's why I'm taking all my gear. I'm going to need a trailer, not just my wife's new suburban style vehicle. I'm going to need a trailer just to haul the gear to go live streaming. It's not going to look like camping at all. So, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. That was clearly not relevant. But
what we do. It's what we do.
Anyway, I'm hopeful when this is all done that you'll look at this and say, like, I need that for for storm chasing. And,
Is that
and we
correct?
can, yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
We can figure out a way that can improve a lot of people's streams and to make this cool. So I love that. I'm a nerd when it comes to this sort of stuff. Speaking of nerdy stuff, I've participated in some really, what some people might say are because I'm the nerdy guy. I've participated in some really interesting hobbies over my time. Probably some of the most bizarre ones were walking around in the salt flats out by Wendover, Nevada, with a magnet on the end of a golf club. Okay. Now, if you've ever watched any movie where there's somebody wandering in like barren wasteland, it was filmed there. It was filmed in the salt flats out by Wendover, Nevada. It's just flat and nothing for years. Like there's nothing. It's just cracked, dry mud and no water and no animals, no plants, not a blade of grass. It's nothing lives out there. And here's me with this golf club walking around, tapping on any rock I can see to see if it might be a meteorite. Seriously, I looked for meteorites out in the desert. I've done some crazy stuff, and I never found one. But I also have and similar, and near that area up in the mountains near the salt flats, I've done searching for fossils, and there's actually a mountain. Don't tell anyone, but it's just inside the government like bombing range for the Hill Air Force Base and Nellis Air Force Base. Their fighters take off and they like shoot live fire rounds at old beat up cars in the desert. That's where they test. There's no fence, right? So you can sort of cross the border.
There's no physical fence, but there's a fence.
There's a hill, and you can climb the hill. It looks almost like a pyramid because it's like a perfectly shaped hill just on the sides, and it's just like broken rocks all the way down. The hill is like the turning point where the jets fly around when they're buzzing the ground, and so you can like look over, like level with you, and see the pilot as he like banks hard U-turn around that mountain.
That's super cool.
Wave to pilots and they wave back at us. It's bizarre. And then they go shoot their missile, several miles downrange. That hill covered in fossils, absolutely covered. Sandstone, just every rock you pick up has a scorpion under it and a fossil in it. And so as long as you avoid the scorpions. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Yes, fossils. That's what I was going to talk about. There's a story out of California this week. I'm sorry. This weekend has been so long coming. It's been forever. Anyway, there's a story in California. There's this lady. She was down by the beach. I think where like a river comes in, where the river and the beach sort of mix.
Okay.
And she's walking and talking with somebody, and a lady they're stopping talking, and the other lady's like, "Hey, what's that at your feet?" And she's like, "I don't know. It looks weird." She's like, "Looks sort of burnt." And there's this thing, and she takes a picture of it and goes and shows it on social media, and they're like, that's a fossilized mastodon tooth. It's like prehistoric elephant.
Wow.
Extremely rare. Okay. You really want to find one of these. This is
just stumbles on it.
It's right up there. It's right up there with like a holy grail as far as the artifacts you want to find. You want to find the holy grail. You want to find a fossilized mastodon tooth. They're just they're not that rare, but they're I might find one in my lifetime if I spent a dedicated year or two looking in the places where you find them.
Right.
So she finds this. She goes back and she looks for it everywhere, and it's gone. And so she posts on social media, and some dude's like, "Oh, I found your tooth. It looked cool. Picked it up and took it home. He was using it for a doorstop or something. I don't know what." And they ended up donating it to a museum.
Thank gosh.
So people can finally see it. And but it's cool. I mean, watch what's at your feet. And I saw this story, and I wanted to share this as well. I've told you guys where I live in Greenville, North Carolina. We have a river that runs through town. It actually runs right through college, the ECU college, Eastern Carolina University. It's called Green Springs Greens Mill Run, I think it is what it's called. And this little river that you can wade through pretty much any day of the year, unless it rains in the last 2 days, and then it's like 11 feet deep.
Right.
It's full of shark teeth, and so I wanted to show you guys my shark teeth and let you know exactly. I mean, this one is part of a megalodon. It's just the tip of a megalodon. We've got some great whites, just some amazing. These things make amazing necklaces too. You can put a little wire piece around it and make a little holder. So
That's awesome.
Well, I think I've got about 2 pounds of shark teeth here that in a bag that.
No way. Oh, wow.
And you can pick them up by the hundreds. Now these big ones are harder to find. Usually I'll find, 2 or 3 of this size every day I go out there. Mostly you find small ones that are less than an inch long. And those are just every handful of sand has 2 or 3 of the small ones in it. Anyway, so I might take you all with me on a shark tooth hunt. It's basically just a video of me sweating to death and getting eaten by mosquitoes, but we will find lots of shark teeth as well. So,
that's awesome.
That's an option if you guys want some. But I've got huge shark teeth. I think the biggest one here is about 2 inches long.
That's a long shark tooth.
Great whites, tiger shark, makos, some megalodons. Anyway, so
that's incredible. Field
trip for down the road sometime.
Yeah.
When we're bored when there's no court, we're like, hey, you guys want to see some shark teeth? We'll do that.
Right. So quick sidebar, but it's relevant.
Okay. I haven't just had a man come through the store who's 101 years old, born in 1922. His dad, he's nearly a fossil. He's born in 1922. His dad was a bootlegger and remembers bottling moonshine. Whoa.
That's incredible.
What a history. That is crazy. I've metal detected at an old still up in the mountains where they were making moonshine back in the Prohibition. Man, that's crazy, Ivan. That is really cool. I love history like that. That guy has a story to tell.
Yeah. I mean, not only is he 101, but he is 101 and is able to come through the store. I mean, that's super neat.
And he's still drinking.
That's a secret.
Yeah.
Jet fuel every day keeps him going. That's the way it works.
Someone is echoing, and it's not Scott. Are you hearing echo from me?
I don't get echo from you. I get a little bit of myself in my headset, but I don't know where or how.
Okay. Well, it's we'll let it go if it's not bad. If nobody's complaining, we're good.
That's funny. So fossils, shark teeth, megalodon, everything. Speaking of odd items, because I saw that story that you wanted to cover as well, and then I thought of odd items. So a lot of us like to travel. Some don't. A lot of us do. And when you travel, you go via airfare, right? You have to go through the TSA. And as we all know, they have to check certain things, check you. And when you're not there and your checked baggage is getting x-rayed behind the scenes, et cetera, et cetera. And so I found an article of the 10 things that have been found from the TSA that are odd items. Now there's a couple of them might be artifacts, but they're no fossils, but they are crazy weird to think of that either someone tried to bring on the plane or check on the plane, or they simply forgot it was in their luggage.
Before you read the list, let me just say, I personally think if they don't specifically spelled it out on the you cannot bring, then I'm good. Right?
Yeah.
They should know what I can't bring already. And they should spell it out on that big sign up front. So let's hear what's on the list to see if it's something I'd pack.
I agree. So I'm going to go backwards, I think, because number 1 is just too good to start with. So number 10, and this is intentional in my opinion. This is shady. This is ammunition, smaller caliber. I think from the article I looked at, it looked like 380, found in a deodorant canister, like a roll-on stick deodorant.
That's hiding something.
100%.
I would also keep that individual off the plane if I was the TSA. Not just hey, you can't take that. It's like, hey, you are now on the no-fly list. Call an Uber, and it's going to be a long ride.
100%. That's definitely trying to hide it and sneak it on there. Number 9, I don't know if it's negligence or not because it's from what I understand, it's non-operable, but a long-barreled antique pistol. It's a revolver. They don't give the date of it. Looking at the image, it's definitely older. It's very beautiful. But someone was somewhere, antique show, maybe even auction. They went to on purpose and they got it and they just tried to bring it on, thinking no big deal without declaring it and
Could be
packaging it
worth
properly.
a small fortune, and instead it gets ground up and sold.
Yeah,
as scrap.
now it's in an incinerator. Content Angel says, "What was the deodorant?" It doesn't say. They put it upside down to where it
Raise your
only
hand, sister.
it's red and white. So I'm gonna go with Old Spice.
Old Spice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my guess, but it doesn't say because they got
No
it
one
upside
drink the
down.
Old Spice deodorant. Hide it in there.
New advertisement, absolutely. Number 8 is a meth burrito. So
Did you
it's
say math or meth?
ME.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
like
didn't know you. I didn't know
the
you could
Adam
math
Montgomery
into, like,
trial
Mexican food.
type
I
math.
thought it was more like a standalone substance that was consumed, on its own. But what
So
what
it's
do you put on a meth burrito?
so it's a true burrito, but they carved out the innards and hid the meth in it, rewrapped it, so they appeared that that's the food they're bringing on board, and it got sniffed out real quick. Yeah.
The dog's like, that burrito right there. That's the one. it's got the blue stuff in it.
And the dog handler's like, "No, relax. No steak, no treat. Sit down. No, no." And he's like, "No, boss, I'm telling you, there's something else in this."
And
So,
how do they find it? It's like, I'm gonna have to taste that to make sure it's legit.
yeah, crazy. So it doesn't show if it was, how it was packaged and wrapped. It just shows the burrito all split open and torn apart. So, but yeah, I mean, people try anything, I guess.
Walter White burrito, says Ivan.
Yeah, it's so
Bad.
on topic, but not on the article. Just the other day, outside of our town, we live in a pretty main thoroughfare of north to south travel through the country. So a lot of drug interdiction happens here from people running and shuttling. So they actually stopped someone. They found their car battery full of drugs. They took the car battery, took the whole guts out of the battery, packed it with, I think it was all cocaine. And then they just had a small battery tender sitting to the side of it. So before they had to start or go anywhere, they had to plug in the car real quick, start it, unhook it, and then they would just drive. So if they got
They
pulled
pulled them
over,
over, they're like, hey, go ahead and turn your car off for me. And I'm like,
he's
no,
like,
I can't.
I can't. It'll die. I mean, no. So sure enough, the dog alerted real heavily at the front, and they looked down and they saw a battery that looked to be tampered with, and they opened it up. No battery inside the battery. It's full of cocaine. Crazy. Number 7. So a fire. Exactly. A firearm belt buckle. So it's one of those teeny little handheld pistols that are actually functioning that people carry. And I've seen them. My dad had one, but it clicks into a belt buckle. So I'm guessing good old cowboy threw on his belt buckle, didn't realize what he was wearing, headed off to travel, and ding, 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 ding. And then
It's
he goes,
like a little single shot 22 Derringer or something like that.
this one is a 6-shot revolver with like a 1-inch barrel on it, but it fits right inside of a belt buckle about that big.
Man, 6 shots. That would not be comfortable to wear.
Not at all.
No. They're not fun to shoot either. Those little tiny guns. They're not. It's like, and it sprains your fingers, and they're so light that even though it's a very light gun, the recoil, there's a lot of torque on the gun, things like that. So,
and you have no idea where it's going when you fire it.
Yes,
there's no accuracy.
Like 2 feet.
Maybe, right? So true. Number 7, I don't know how this happens, and there's no story behind it, but a meat cleaver. And it's a real dirty one too. To me, it looks like it was recovered somewhere, like found in the turf.
It's like, hey, look what I've got. That's another one. I'm going to have them sit off this flight as well. Mm-hmm. Probably answer a few questions before they get to board the plane.
100%. And then in Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, we've got a can of bear spray that was tried to carry on the plane. I feel like I forgot that it's in my bag.
Florida?
I feel like they're going on a hunting trip. Probably that's my take. They're going or a camping trip,
like Florida to Alaska flight, or somewhere up in Canada.
Yeah,
maybe. But yeah, bear spray. I guess they do have black bears in Florida, but black bears typically leave you alone. They're not really the aggressive ones.
Yeah, they're the ones who get big and loud and yell and scream and chase them away, right? You don't really, I mean,
yeah.
But
bear spray. The part about bear spray is you think that you spray it at the bear and you're like, oh, good, the bear's going to run away. It doesn't like it. You spray that. It's like a cloud. And if the wind is going the wrong direction, you better hope you hit the bear. Otherwise, you are blinded.
You're
and you're just, the bear just gets to chase you around until you get tired and you can't see him and you're crying, your snot's going everywhere. And then you're a snack. So,
but you know what they say, you don't have to be faster than the bear, just faster than your friend.
Yeah. Bring a slow friend.
Number 4 out of Ronald Reagan in Washington, D.C., a machete. Again, the image depicts it to look.
That's a no-no.
Machete. It looks to be a very, very old machete, and it looks beat up. It looks ancient. Again, I think this is an antique. Got somewhere, bringing it somewhere. They just got it, or they're gifting it, and just a total brain fart. But what's funny in the picture, what they don't talk about, is there's a magazine for a firearm, and there's one piece of ammunition sitting on the evidence board in the picture too. But that's not discussed in it. That worries me more than this.
We got the machete. You know what? I've actually found a machete at my church. I found a machete, and it was just like sitting there, leaned up against the tree. And I'm like, I don't know why this is here. I still have it. I don't know who to give it to. I mean, it's not like illegal to own a machete, but yeah, it is probably one of the, Ivan says a $5 Harbor Freight machete. It is probably one of those. It's nothing fancy. No sheath. It was just a bare machete, all rusted. The blade's all rusted. I don't know how long it'd been leaning there. But apparently you can find machetes just leaning up against trees here in North Carolina.
That's where I'm going to go. Ivan, that's funny. I bought one at Walmart. Same thing. In fact, I actually feel terrible to this day for the purchase, because I was in the camping section, and adjacent to me was this little youngster with his dad, obviously looking at camping supplies and getting ready, I assume, for a trip. And this little tyke, I don't know, he's maybe 6 to 8, looks up and goes, "Oh, Dad, look at the machete." And I look at this row of machetes there, and then I look and see a pretty cool machete for $5. So while he's still stargazing at this cheap machete, tugging his dad, I just go, "Oh, yeah, he's right." And I just grab it off the shelf and continue on my shopping.
You poached his machete.
Daily riddle. Do you know what rhymes with bees?
To this day, I feel bad. Oh, no, I know where this is going. Do you want to answer this, or do you want me to answer this?
It's going to get me in trouble. I'm sure he's leading me down a path on this one. I'd like you to answer, because I don't know where he's going.
I think we say it at the same time, and he'll screenshot it because it'll look like we're smiling.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Cheese.
Was that it? Was it cheese?
Oh, we have a guest.
We have a guest. Oh my goodness. Let's bring him in. Oh, look at this.
Oh no. What a knucklehead. I mean, cheese.
Did y'all get the answer?
We did. We got the answer. We said cheese at the exact same time.
Do you know what's on my mind right now?
I can't quite put my finger on it.
We've been infiltrated.
Yeah, I had it went through my head, but it was just like a swish. It was gone.
Adam Nusky says, "Geez, he was right. We were wrong."
I thought we were going to have to resort to this one. I was all prepared to out you like that. I didn't know you would be wearing it. That it looks fantastic. This is exactly how I imagined it. A little bit better, but
you know. So for anyone who has never been to Wisconsin, this is nothing like what I thought that it would feel like. This is the most comfortable little airplane pillow that you could imagine.
Do you sleep on the plane on the way home?
Yes, absolutely. It fits just perfectly over on the wall side right next to the window. Great for that 6 a.m. flight out of Madison.
If you cut a hole through the top, you can shove your head through it and keep it around the neck, and then it's a true airplane pillow.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Well, because you're a cheese
Innovator.
I would get a spare to cut that one, because you want one that you can wear proudly like you're doing now. And then one that's, what kind of cheese? I mean, clearly it looks like cheddar, but it's got the holes like Swiss. And we might have to have maybe because you went to a cheese fest, right?
We sure did.
Cheese fest.
Yeah. We went all the way to Wisconsin just for a cheese festival. I would defer to Ivan, though. He is the resident cheesehead.
The comments
cheddar Swiss. So it's Carrie Brook. Cheddar Swiss. Is that a real thing? I thought Swiss had to be like white.
I have no clue. I'll be honest. I went on for my wife because she's a big cheese fan. I could take it or leave it. Sorry, I'm going to get roasted in the comments, but she loves cheese, so I went just to make her happy.
Oh,
that is amazing.
You're scoring cheese points left and right.
Yes,
I would take a slice of that cheese with a meth burrito any day. No. Never mind. Nobody cut that. It was supposed to be a joke.
By the way, let me add one cheese story because Thomas, I heard you a minute ago talking about going through the TSA.
Yep.
So on the way back, we're coming through the airport, and TSA says, "All right, all food and liquids right over here." And we said, "Food too?" And it's just cheese. And they're like, "Put it in here." So it goes through, and everything goes off. We get selected for extra screening. TSA agent, because I took my wife to a cheese festival, and I told her, "Baby, go nuts." She did. I brought an extra bag just to bring extra cheese home. So they spread it all out on the table right there in front of God and everyone. And she leans over and she goes, "They're going to think that I am crazy."
And then they start taking pictures, and it's not with like their work camera. It's like they've got their cell phones out. Like, I don't believe this.
No, okay. So here's the worst part. So they were training a new TSA agent in Wisconsin, and this guy goes through and wipes down every single block of cheese with the little explosive thing, and then he grabs the brie, which is a soft cheese, and he's squeezing it. And he's like, "This is soft cheese," and the other guy goes, "Dude, you live in Wisconsin, you should know better."
Oh my goodness! I'm sure you weren't the only one. Did you have like a wheel of cheese, or are these all little wedges?
Mostly wedges, some blocks.
Yes.
The sample sizes, it was the full smorgasbord.
That is awesome. I can just imagine snack time at your house for the next year is just going to be amazing.
We're set.
We're every possible cheese.
Yeah.
What
These comments though are cracking me up.
Hilarious.
Call them out. We'll put them on the screen. Which one?
Oh, I didn't catch it earlier. The one that said that I was looking sharp.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it sounds like she milked it for all it's worth.
Just go and go and go.
I tried to meet up with Ivan up there, but he wouldn't pick me up from the airport. He told me to talk to a guy named Pablo, and Pablo wanted to charge a lot of money for a ride.
He's probably in cahoots with Ivan. Splitting it. So, man, bummer. It's too bad you didn't get to meet up. I know Ivan had got some busy stuff going on with his store up there, so he's a busy guy. But man, I'm glad you got to go up there and check it out. How was the weather? I mean, compared to Texas.
So believe it or not, it was hotter in Wisconsin than it was in Texas last weekend. So
Thomas, what are you doing?
Thank you so much, Thomas. You sent me some warm weather up there, but let me tell you, they weren't ready for it in Wisconsin. Those Wisconsinites, is that what they're called? Wisconsinites? Mm-hmm. Wisconsinians?
I like
they've shed all their winter coats. And so they had the air conditioner blasting. They had it like 50, 60 degrees inside the hotel. And my wife and I are sitting over there just shivering. Anything below 75, and we are freezing. We've got icicles.
It's probably to keep the cheese fresh.
That's right.
It must have been, because it was cold everywhere we went. But otherwise, though, weather was fantastic. It rained here the entire weekend we were gone. So then we came back to fantastic weather just as it all passed through. Thanks, Thomas. Thanks for looking out.
I was going to say the day you departed, it's when you had severe thunderstorms and massive flash flooding in Lubbock and everything. It was crazy. And I was like, he's not even there. And I'm texting him, but he's gone. So it's
With convicts, Adam, too soon, my friend. Too soon.
It's fantastic.
This story keeps churning along.
Yeah. We've got to cut it off right there and just slice. That's Matthew. That is awesome. First of all, I love that you even made the effort to try to connect with Ivan up there. It's even cooler that your wife had that amazing experience. I wish there's some security camera footage or something that we could show of that, because it must have been. I know you describe it pretty well, but it must have just been hilarious to see the faces on all the TSA agents who.
I'm realizing right now it's one open records request away.
There we go. Now all we need to know is the county, what airport was in Wisconsin. I guess you said it was in Wisconsin.
Madison Airport at 6:30 in the morning.
I happen to know a guy who does records requests for a living. I don't think that TSA gives out anything. They are so tight with their information. They're like, if they feel like if they expose like anything they've done, that it will give away their secrets. They're very, very protective. So, but I'm not against filing one.
You know what? Worst thing they can tell us is no, right?
That's true. Absolutely.
Give me the date one more time.
Yeah, we went through on Sunday the 4th.
Oh, this is going to be too good.
We can do this. I have faith in us, Scott.
I'll do some research. We'll see what we can find out.
Yep.
That's awesome. We are were we done with our top 10? You want to stick around for the rest of the top 10? I think you had some more items, Thomas.
I do. I've got 3 more. Number 1 being the best. Matthew, do you want to hang out for the show?
Yeah, let's hang out for a few minutes.
All right, love it. Did you get to see what we're doing before you hopped in?
I didn't. I was between Chick-fil-A and here.
Okay, that's a good place to be.
So he's captive audience. He has to participate, or else everyone's going to think he's like being a cheapskate. What can we throw his way?
So Matthew, it's perfect. We're doing top 10 oddest items TSA has actually recovered. So this is perfect. It ties into your trip and everything we're on. So we've got machetes and knives and ammo and a meth burrito. So we're down to the final 3. Yeah. The next 2 they're okay. The number 1 is my favorite. I can't wait to get there. So I'm going to hurry along. So in Syracuse, New York, a bag full of fireworks were found, just not even concealed, not hidden, not packaged, just a bag. Just they went shopping. Hey, we got all these. They're cheaper than home. So they loaded them up and just, here we go. Fireworks on an airplane. Brilliant. Number 2, I can get this one. It's a gun-shaped wine holder. And people can't see these. It's like 2 revolvers kind of together, leaning backwards, so you can rest your wine bottle on it, wrapped in some brass rope with some horseshoes on it. I think they bought it in Lubbock, if I had to guess.
Probably.
But so number 1, this is the one that I just absolutely love. In the Louis Armstrong New Orleans International Airport in Louisiana, a chainsaw. Chainsaw was recovered by TSA. Again, none of these give a big background story or details or follow-up. I'm dying to know. But yes, a chainsaw.
I think a couple of these probably ended up in a court case.
Had to. And the chain is on. I mean, it's not like a fake toy or a prop. It's chain on chainsaw.
He was heading to Texas. This content angel.
Texas chainsaw. Man, I like it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So, here's what's more concerning for me out of that. It's not that they found the chainsaw. That's not the concerning part. Because if that had been in Minnesota or upstate New York, I could get that. But this was New Orleans. What are they doing with chainsaws in the airport in New Orleans?
I don't know.
That's a good point. Or where are they going? I mean, I just
Are chainsaws cheaper down there? Is it? It's like it's one of those things you report on the duty card. So I picked up a chainsaw down in New Orleans because it's cheaper than buying one up here in the forest country.
You know what just hit me? I hope it wasn't part of one of Ryan Hall's squad going down there for storm relief. That's what they brought.
I'm here to help cut down the trees from the tornado, and now my chainsaw got confiscated by the TSA.
And I tried to bring it home with me. I'm gonna have to ask him if that's what that's about. If not, I'm gonna make up a story and put it over the internet.
I think somebody needs to grab a screenshot really quickly. I noticed we're all wearing blue shirts. I happen to be wearing the only blue shirt I own. Well, just kidding. I have a couple blue shirts, but I happen to be wearing this one, which is one of my favorites. Knowing that we had a surprise for Matthew, I didn't realize he was going to join us today, which is great. That is a great surprise. But love the shirt. Thank you, by the way.
That's my favorite blue shirt too.
Everything I know about law, Matthew Harris Law. You can get your own at Matthew Harris's channel. So
everyone got the memo. Matthew, do you have time to stick around for just the next segment, or do you have to go?
I've got how long? Because I have not eaten since breakfast this morning. I had trial that ran all day long, and literally the judge said, we're not taking lunch, and we just pushed straight through.
I saw that in mod chat, and I figured you were exaggerating, but it sounds like you're being honest.
Literally.
Your wife bring you some cheese, and we'll just go to this next segment.
This one has the potential to get a little lengthy with a little story time.
Yeah, it's top 3 is what we call it, but I don't know what's coming.
Yeah, this is a surprise that I thought of, and so it's going to be a little bit longer. It's actually not a top 3; it's going to be a top 1, but there's explanation around it. So
I can stick around for top 1.
Okay, love it. You might regret it after you do it. So a lot of times, RA and I, we talk about it. We might not tell each other what our top 3 are, but we just know this is the subject matter of the top 3, fast food or what have you not. So this one in our script, I just said, I have one, but it's a surprise. And this one's actually a little bit more sentimental. So it's 1, and there's a caveat to it. So your favorite time period in your life. Here's the caveat. Current time doesn't count. With family and children and wives and all that. That's the blessing and where we're at, and we absolutely love it and cherish it. That's our number 1. So it's there. So this is basically what's your second most favorite period in your life. And we're talking from kindergarten till, just pre where we are with families and stuff like that. Bam.
That's a good one.
I'll let Matthew go first because Matthew, I think you will want to bow out. It will take a little while to tell the stories, and I'd hate to see you starve to death on air while we're doing the podcast.
I'm wasting away.
You barely see you sideways.
So my favorite time, other than right now where I am now, favorite time in my life would absolutely, hands down, have to be my time in the military.
Cool.
That time, just the brothers that I formed. Actually, I'm wearing my military shirt today. That was the time where I grew into a man. I joined whenever I was 17. And so all of that, just personal growth, because I turned 18 literally in boot camp. And so all that personal growth, all those brothers that I made along the way, all those experiences, all the, the hardships, I think that's what made me who I am today. And so that was my favorite time because that's just so many great memories. There are so many funny times. That's my number 1.
Love it.
I don't think I can top that. That is a top. Matthew, first of all, thank you. Thanks for being willing to participate with not knowing where we were going with that. Thanks for sticking around. We're going to release you and get some dinner, get some food, have a great weekend. Appreciate you're not just a good friend, you're a fantastic mod on the channel and everything. And you're amazing. And tell your wife, great job on the cheese.
I will do that. And thank you as well. You guys are both fantastic friends. Scott, you be safe next week while camping. Hopefully we can hear from you along the way. And if not, if we miss you, just know that we will be missing you.
If I'm missing, then send help. So I should have a way to connect to you for sure. Thanks, Matthew. Have a good one.
Bye, guys.
See you, Matthew.
That is awesome. I'm not sure I can top the military service. How do you top military service? The closeness you get with, brothers in arms type thing, where you're both signed up, where your life's on the line, you're serving your country.
Yeah,
that's amazing. The one I had prepared pales in comparison. And it's quite selfish as well.
Do you want me to go so you don't have to follow that one if you want?
I love Lisa's. That is funny. You go ahead, and I'll see if mine might fit somewhere in between the two.
Okay, cool. So my immediate reaction when I had this thought for this question went to my junior hockey and semi-pro hockey days. Right, it's I'm on the road every week with 25 guys plus your staff and the coaches and everyone. It's not military at all. It's a different sense of brotherhood. You're forced to kind of become a man in your own in that right, because when you get there, it's young. The trials and tribulations of trying to win and the ups and downs of a season, and the failures and the victories and things like that. That's where my mind went first. And then I thought about it for a minute. And I remember also the stress that comes with it. It's an incredible blessing to ever be in a position like that. Don't get me wrong, but it comes with a lot of stress also. So I kind of hit rewind, and it went back, and I hit the brakes at my 10 years to 12-year-old little hockey kid days, because I'm just playing a sport that I absolutely love. And my mom and dad are at every practice and are at every game. And at that age, I'm not thinking of what trying to be a pro is. I'm just playing a sport that I absolutely love. And I was playing competitive at that time. So it was every day of my life. It was practice every day and 2 games every weekend and whatnot. But I take it back because there was no stress. And I can see my mom and dad in the stands for every practice, every game, always asking me, did you have fun? Good job. Hey, if you ever want to quit, you can. You don't have to keep going. Don't stress out, because I started when I was like 7 or 8, right? So it's a long haul. But I was just strictly in love with life and the sport I was playing, and my parents were there for every single bit of it. So it kind of brings me back to that time period.
Yeah, mine sucks. Oh my goodness. Both of you just went with just incredibly powerful ones that are impactful, have a ton of meaning. I will tell you first on hockey. I am scared to death of crashing on skates. I think for sure that however I'm going to do it, I'm going to land on the blades and I'll end up being sliced up like Swiss cheese or something. No. I just think, I imagine that's how it happens. And so I have never in my life been able to do a hockey stop. But anytime I go ice skating, I am way too proud to get the figure skates with a toe pick. And so I ask for hockey skates every single time. I still can't do a hockey stop. But man, okay, I'm going to stick with what I went with. That was the deal. First one. I'd have to say it's not easy being a teenager, right? Growing up, being a teenager, going through junior high, I was, public school for most of it, private, homeschooled for some of it. And all the stress and making friends and figuring out where you fit in, the social pressures, it was not easy. And I'd have to say during that time of my life, I really developed my love for fishing. And there was a time when I would fish 6 days a week. And I grew up right on the foothills of a mountain, right with a river, a stream in my backyard. And I could jump across the stream. It was tiny. So there was never any big fish, but there was always rainbow trout, cutthroat trout available, and I would fish and I would hike and I'd fish almost every single day through the summer. And I learned the mountains like the back of my hand. And in doing that, I found out that my grandpa also loved the mountains and spent a lot of time up there. And I was able to go up one time with him, and this all wraps together. And he showed me an old distillery or an old moonshine place, where they were made moonshine up in the mountains. I was able to metal detect that in later years. just learning the mysteries of the mountains and you know, things people see as they drive behind the road. It looks cool. It's like, oh, there's some bumps, there's a little valley. I could take you to hidden mines that, you know, you can't see unless you're right on top of them, and Indian writings on the back of an old cliff wall that's crumbled away, and just amazing places where nature has just worked, you know, artwork in the mountains. And so I'd have to say, going up and fishing, and I became very, very good at catching fish and knowing where the fish are and thinking like a fish. I don't know how I didn't die up there, because there are mountain lions everywhere up there, and they eat people. And I was by myself, and I was a bit of a scrawny kid in junior high as well. So, but that would probably be right up there on the top of my list. I did a lot of thinking. I still do. When I fish, I can think, and usually I think like 1 or 2 thoughts the entire day while I'm fishing, and that's it. My wife can't understand that. I tried to tell her that when we went ice fishing. You guys heard that story. But
we love that story.
That's my story. I have to say, take me back to me, the mountains, and fishing. A little fishing pole in my hand, and a whole bunch of trout.
I love that story. That's you were selling that one short. That's incredible. It's for those that don't fish, won't ever understand it. And those that do love to fish absolutely will. I've got a pond right around the corner, and when days are tough and some trials are kind of hard for the day, I'll just grab a pole and go down there, and you just by myself, and you have your own thoughts, and life just gets really, really simple when you're in a position like that. So I love it.
Yeah, but it's not like serving my country or ties with family. It was just me being selfish. Like, I don't want to go fishing. So,
you tied your grandpa into that, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, I tied it in, but usually, I mean, he wasn't there when I'd go fishing. That is my one regret. I never went to. One day I'll share this. I'll tell you now. I wrote a song about my grandpa, and I sing it on the guitar, and I'll probably cry if I sing it. So I'll have to like pre-record it so I don't like bawl through the song. But my grandpa was absolutely incredible, and he loved fishing. And when I was young enough to go, I didn't have the interest to go with him. And then when I started getting that interest and wanting to spend time with him, his health had deteriorated. The only time I was able to go out with him was that time we went up to that distillery. He showed me just one of the secrets of the mountains that he had learned as a kid himself, having gone up there. So one day I'll share that song with you guys.
That's awesome. That was a great story.
I made up for it. There we go. I tied it in. Really, I just like going fishing. That's it.
Did you ever get to learn what a fish says when he runs into a wall?
No, is this a joke? What does a fish say when it runs into a wall?
Damn.
Why have I never heard this in my life?
I don't know. I figured you were going to nail it real fast.
My kids, if I tell them, they're like, "Dad, you swore." Yeah.
Do you know what do you call a fish that's missing? I can't even. What do you call a fish that's missing an eye?
Don't know. I'm thinking like physical eye.
Yeah, because there's no eye. Yeah, it's so bad, but it's so good.
Oh my goodness, that is a good one. Hope the kids aren't going to watch them. I'm going to use this on my kids tonight.
Viewer counts dropping drastically.
They're pretty much left right now.
Is it just you and I right now?
Oh, yeah, it's just us. We'll probably go on to the next story then, before we get buried in dad jokes in chat. Because I know, here's one already. There, Samantha Terry came in before the warning. What do you call a deer with a one eye? No idea.
It's supposed to be a no idea.
No idea. Okay.
Be an R at the end there. Yeah.
You got hasty and you hit enter before the R. No idea.
Yeah, no idea.
Awesome. Okay. We were gonna
save the show.
Yes, let's try to claw our way back to something that's irrelevant, but really isn't. I was going to share you a little story about with it being the end of school year and everyone's graduating and moving on. I've seen a lot of graduation pictures and some in chat have shared stories of family members or themselves as they've finally reached that graduation point and moved on. This story is a little bit different because at its graduation ceremony, the recipient was a four-legged recipient. It was a canine that received a diploma.
No way.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, good, doggy obedience school. You know, everyone graduates. You all get a trophy. No, this is different. This was actually a school graduation where the canine was a support dog for the student, and the support dog had attended every single class with the student all the way through the school. And this is I believe college. Let me look by which. Let's see where the. I don't remember which school it was. I'm pulling it up right now.
I think Jersey, and I want to
New
say
Jersey.
Sutton Hall.
The dog gets a diploma as well, though, and so both the handler. Let's see if I can. Wait for it.
Did you drop your pen?
No, but I almost did. I was going to show the picture here really quickly on my side. Let's see, 7. I think I'm in channel 7. There it is. There's the dog. Okay, getting the diploma. And both of them graduated. So, and the dog is awesome. That was cool. There is a video for it, and it'll make you cry. It's a tearjerker dog. Dogs are awesome.
They are awesome. They're the best. That's a great story.
I on the other hand, I have owned a couple dogs in my life, or at least my family's owned dogs. I've never successfully trained them to do anything at all. And this morning, I was actually over at my neighbor's house, and there's a story there. I won't go into that right now, but he has a pit bull that is hyperactive.
Oh.
And I was watching on TikTok, and somebody's like, here's how you train a hyperactive dog not to jump on you. And she walks in and she's like, you just don't make eye contact, don't reward them. And the dog stops. I tried this with this pit bull, which bowls me over. It's a very energetic dog, very friendly, and it worked. Like
really?
My whole life, I just ignored it, and it immediately stopped jumping on me, and then just waited for me. I'm like, hey, I learned something. I learned a new trick. I can't teach a dog, but I learned a new trick. Dogs are awesome, though. I love them.
Dogs are awesome. They're incredible. They're incredibly smart.
They cost a lot of money, though. You know that?
They do,
because they eat and they need care, and you can't ignore that, either one, or else they'll eat you.
When you have 4, they tear up your new sod that you have to replace and fix and everything else. Yeah, it's just
you know a guy who's experienced this.
Very much so.
It
was not in my forecast. I can tell you that when it came to writing down the expenses and budgeting for that many animals, but we love them. Cool. Speaking of which, the cat, one of 2, just woke up from his nap, and he's staring at me right now. I could see him not long before he's gonna get the camera shot, because he's a fiend. That's awesome. I love to hear the animal stories. There's a lot of, I know, obviously we know to our chat, so many animal lovers in there also.
Tons. Red Pen says it's my dog's 16th birthday today. She's the best, and every day with her has been a gift to me.
That's awesome. I love that. Forecast. Oh, it's not. Lisa's awake. It's late over there too. She's still got her wits about her. That's awesome.
So speaking of expenses, I think there's one more story. Unplanned expenses specifically.
Yes.
Do you want to share?
I would love to, because you and I were talking motorcycles last night, because we had some ideas, and we still have an idea that maybe one day we might see if it happens. And with motorcycles comes speed, and with speed comes tickets typically.
Yeah, let me get the.
You've got to sound.
There we go. Now go ahead.
So, knock on wood, not my way yet, but there's a speeding ticket for a man, a single speeding ticket, just one, for going 20 miles an hour over, or for our UK friends. I've got it here. He was going 82 kph in a 50 kph.
That's not bad, though, in the realm of everything in the spectrum. I mean, yes, you're speeding. It's probably deserving of a ticket, but it's not like you're being super bad.
Absolutely. So that's a ticket. So 20 miles an hour over, that's a ticket. You're looking, depending where you are and what's going on, Uh,
5 points, $150, pay court costs, be good for 6 months and falls off. Right.
Bingo. Or take defensive driving, get the points removed. Off you go. How does $129,000 for that ticket sound? And that's USD.
Excuse me?
$129,000 for one speeding ticket going 20 miles an hour over. You would think there's how much is that per mile an hour?
It is $6,450 per mile per hour.
It's expensive. So you would think, okay,
like fall asleep and like on the 0 button when he was writing out the fine or something.
Right. There's like, oh, here he comes. There's a clerical error. There was.
I'd have the judge correct that or something. Just say, look, Your Honor, clearly there are too many zeros there after the comma.
Extra charges. Was there drugs found? What was happening? Something.
It's a repeat offender that they threw the book at.
No, it was just a Finnish man speeding. Over there, they adjust. Oh, pardon me. They adjust.
The view never changes. You know that.
They adjust the fines you receive based off your income.
Well, there's good news and bad news. When we hear that, what's the percentage?
So I didn't do the math, but all I know is from what I read, and I don't have it in front of me. I read it earlier, but he's the CEO of a $375 million company over there. So, and it's based off of your daily expendable math is how they do it. So because he has so much, his ticket is worth more. So the caveat to that is I'm thinking, what if someone is unemployed and they get a speeding ticket? Is it free? I mean,
you can't do anything. I have no paycheck. There's nothing to take.
Zero.
There's got to be like a minimum mandatory or something to
has to be. And there has to be a maximum. I mean, maybe
not. That was in again because I cannot visit there. Where was that?
In Finland.
Finland.
Yep.
Okay, just cross that off the list. We're not going to Finland. Oh my goodness. Lisa says, do you guys have to pay for a TV license over there? Lisa, the UK is the only first world country that requires TV licenses. The rest of us don't have to pay. You know what a TV license is, Thomas? Have you heard?
Yeah, actually, from our friends in chat early on in your channel is where I learned.
Yeah, and they are what do they call it when they're very dedicated in pursuing you if you violate?
Persistent.
First of all, they have a list of everyone who has not paid, and they have a TV license van. And the van could drive around and it has cooler toys than I have. And they can point the toys at your house and detect if you have a TV on in your house. And if you do, it's bad. It's bad. It's for over the air radio antenna TV, BBC, Pride and Prejudice reruns or whatever it is.
She says, now I feel physically. And you can't put your TV in a Faraday bag either because you won't get any signal.
Yeah, and it's an annual license. You don't just pay one time. It's every year. It's a criminal offense not to have one. They can lock you up for watching TV without a permit.
So how much is the license per year?
Do they still have the color or black and white options for your licenses? Can you get a black and white license still? I don't know if you can even buy a black and white TV. Everyone's got questions here. Lisa, you're going to have to type faster.
Yeah, I was saying we need to get Lisa as a guest, so she can. Yeah, we need to send her the link so she can start answering questions.
Lisa, do you want the links you can connect? Watch TV through the internet. Does that get around it?
Ooh, here's another good question. Do you pay per TV?
I would just have one giant TV.
And can you just go ahead and watch TV through the internet like Jimbo? Or do you still have to have a license?
Yeah.
We asked Lisa if she wants the link, and I think she ran away, closed out. I saw the viewer count drop by 1 right when you said it too. So
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
The TV van's outside my house. I gotta go. Gotta turn off my TV real quick before they catch me. Oh man, they've got to be catching people. Oh, let's see. Lisa says, oh, "Look at this. Where'd it go?
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
Was caught without one and refused to pay, and they gave me a 26-day suspended sentence. And you have 1 per house yearly, 150 pounds.
And that's I think that equates to $200 something.
Yeah,
right now with the exchange.
Wow. I am now a criminal.
You've got a record. I need to know what you were watching when they caught you. What was the show that was worth jeopardizing your freedom to catch up on the latest episode?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. If they can figure out you have a TV, can they figure out what you're watching while you're watching?
I'm sure. It's they can pretty much spy on you and see everything. Because I mean, having the TV on. Here's what I don't get. What are they taxing? They're taxing the consumption of something that goes out, and there's no additional cost for additional viewers. Probably Law and Order. Jeopardy. all the wrong answers only. What was Lisa watching when she got busted for not having a TV license?
Jeopardy's good. We pay license fees here.
We need the Home Shopping Network. Adam can't have friends with criminals. he's I'm done with this lot. Oh man.
He's taking his ambulance and going home.
Cops is a good one. Murder, She Wrote. This was many years ago. It was because the BBC will not advertise. Lisa, honestly, that's their problem, right? Why should their problem become your problem to pay for? I'm not trying to stir up unrest in the UK. I'm not trying to like cause an insurrection in the ranks. But it seems like it's something they could fix quite easily by just taking advertisements.
You would think, but then there's SpongeBob that gets you in trouble. This one's good too. Megan Easton.
5 minutes later. Woo, woo, woo. Oh man, that's funny.
And then Megan comes in with family food. Too soon? Right off our trial.
Too soon on that one. Just man, that is nuts. We learned so much. Lisa, thank you for enlightening us about the UK.
Yeah.
Please, it angers me. I sense a little bit of frustration in how you type. What a reputation you have. Yep, Lisa, we've outed you to the world now. So all your neighbors who watch this are going to know that you're a TV tax cheat and a convicted felon, or what do they? Is it? I guess it's not a felony. What do they call it over there? Is it misdemeanors and felonies, or is it like a high crime? Is this rise to the level of treason? It's BBC, because that's the government's channel, right? The British Broadcasting Corporation.
Uh-huh.
I think it's treason. I'm pretty
you
sure.
Stole from the government.
It's like you're taking some money out of the queen, I guess the king, out of the king's coffers.
That's right. Carrie's right. Lisa, we got your back. YouTube for the win.
I'll be taken to the tower, the London Tower. You know, that's don't they keep the crown jewels there? I mean, honestly, don't they have like the crown jewels in the London Tower?
Well, don't tempt her with stealing anymore, and she already has.
Yeah, I could pay my TV tax. The money I get from selling the crown jewels. Yeah, now I'm never going to be allowed to visit the UK after this live stream.
Oh, that's hilarious. Steal from Peter to pay Paul. Oh boy. Well, that's awesome, Scott. I'm out of stories for the
okay. Night. Well, we've been talking for quite a while. It's 9:10 right now, so we've been on here for over an hour. Yeah. I'm not sure if you wanted to do an overrated, underrated. I will say this. I had an idea for something was overrated, and some people might hate me for this, but I always thought that my grandma was the most, just being flamboyant and wasteful. And granted, I mean, she lived through the Depression. She cooked loaves of bread in it was like coffee cans. instead of bread pans. I mean, she saved everything that she ever had. But I thought it was so wasteful and just like showing off. And who needs an electric can opener? To me, that was just like, as a kid, the most overrated thing I'd ever seen. I could open a can faster, but then I realized that she has, through the years, her hands and arthritis, it was like a necessity for her to survive. So I thought it was overrated. Then at the same time, I felt really bad, sort of like about my going fishing when everyone else is like serving the country and making the memories of the families. I felt really bad that, and so I guess it's underrated, but overrated if I were to have one right now, because I'm perfectly capable of opening a can by myself, without having to employ electricity to do the job for me.
You found a way to type one item into an underrated and overrated, the same one. You didn't have to do stealing the show.
Can you think of one item that can do both?
Well, yeah, an electric scooter. Like at Walmart. I go there all the time. That would be completely overrated for me to get in one right now and go scoot around. But there's
Have you been talking to my wife?
But there's going to be a time. She sent me a picture the other day of you in Walmart. No,
I have had this conversation. I have begged. I have pleaded. I've said, think of the children. I've tried every tactic in my whole world. From the day those came out, I've wanted one. Now I'm a little disappointed because they have like weight limits, and apparently big people like me, it says no, there's, but I've wanted an electric scooter from day one. And I've even gone so far as to say, I won't even ride it. I just want the kids to have one. I want, here she is. I have, thank you, Mrs. R.A. This is my wife, for those that don't know, Homeschool Ground Zero. I have begged for an electric scooter every time there's a sale. Every Black Friday, there's always like a $99 for this scooter. I'm like, hey, now's the time, right? The kids are big enough, that no injuries. I think they are underrated. I think all of us should be riding them, me specifically, but everybody should get the chance. But it's your overrated. I think she's been feeding you lines.
So I actually have not the sit-in ones that you shop with, but stand-up electric scooter. We actually have two in the garage. One is mine, and one is for our daughter, collecting dust. But the ones I'm specifically speaking of are the Walmart-issued ones. That's completely overrated for me to be on it right now shopping. But one day it'll be overrated because I'll be like, oh my gosh, what a lifesaver.
If I have a toothache, I'm going in that cart. I'm riding that around. I don't care what it is. If I have a blister on my thumb, that is enough reason for me to hop in one of those Walmart carts. When else do you get to do it? I mean, honestly, do I have to wait till I like physically can barely drag myself into the store to ride the thing? It's a free toy you get to use while you're shopping and carry your groceries in it. I've begged even when my wife was pregnant, I was saying, hey, before she had her last kid, hey, ride the scooter, you don't have to walk around and be uncomfortable. Hop in here. I'll just stand on the back and we can zip around the store. She won't do it. I think she looks at it the same way she looks at those stand-up scooters.
I've even seen it when they leave them in the parking lot. I thought, hey, I'll hop on it. That's my chance to bring it in to the staff as a favor.
I do that, but I think there's also a weight limit on those. So I have my kids do it. I'm like, hey, you want to do a good turn daily type thing? Look at that cart over there. You want to ride it into the store? And I do. I feel a little bit bad riding it because what if there's someone who needs it and I'm like, yeehaw, free ride, and somebody's like, never mind, I'll just use my walker.
That's the reason I don't either. I'm like, someone gonna use like that.
3 carts available. I'm taking one. I'll plug it in. I'll charge it when I'm done. I'll charge it.
Take me right to the pickles.
Load that thing up. How much can this thing carry anyway? Oh man. Good times, Thomas. Good times. This has been a fantastic. So RA is taking scooters from the elderly and Weatherwatch is taking machetes from children. Despicable. Adam, that's what you drew from this one. It's pretty much in a nutshell. That was the show. But,
welcome to the Not Relevant podcast.
Oh, no. Red Pen says it's like parking in a handicapped space if you don't need to. Infuriating when you need it. Now, I'm a stickler here. You do not park in the handicapped parking space unless you have a valid, not just an expired, but a valid pass. Okay.
Yeah.
And worse than that, you do not park on the fire lane. You do not wait with your engine going or even with somebody in the car because you just have to make a quick trip in, and that drives me nuts. If I wish I had a fire truck, because the fire truck can push you out of the way. They can.
Yes, it can.
They need to get access to that fire lane. They can ram you out of the way. I wish I had a fire truck just so I could push people out. I wouldn't be fighting fires. I'd probably be like, sorry, call somebody else to put that out. I know I have the equipment on the truck, but I'm just here to push the car. And I would do that in a heartbeat. Heartbeat.
Absolutely.
It's like
car attendant in college, we used to get excited when we saw one of those scooters in the parking lot. Yeah, see, it's a thing. Everyone gets a little bit excited. It brings out the kid in us.
Either you had to go grab all the ones that you had to push back yourself, or you could ride it and watch your buddies, your coworkers push all the other carts back. That was just a smart move by you.
Excited until you get there and you find out that was the dead one, and you got to walk the thing all the way back in. So it doesn't work.
Red Pen says, I had a temporary disabled tag before my hip surgery. I used that thing every chance I could. It was awesome, but now I park all the way in the back for my steps. Red Pen, awesome. True story. In college, I did a volunteer video production for an organization that it was actually a hospital that was sponsoring a message that said that we would go out and we would paint on the farthest parking spots from the store a picture on the ground that said, park here, walk further and live longer, or something like that. It was a message like that. And then we made a video. We filmed it in a grocery parking lot, hanging off the side of a Humvee with the camera, just above the ground. It was bizarre. It was a cheap video. But I made a video for that message, and then I parked at the front of the store and rode the cart in. So I'm not sure if the message is on me or not, but walking does help.
It's good for you. I like to do the same as well.
I'm going to do a little bit of walking next week when we're off camping. Not sure, the schedule might clear up. I might be home by Thursday. If not, it's probably going to be similar to when I was camping the last time. Probably have you run the show from your end out there, and there's this cat again. I saw the cat's shadow before I saw the cat. It was just like a monster cat across the back wall. Anyways, that's where murderers park, CG in Texas.
There's the little guy. He wants his time. All right.
I think he wants food.
And he's
got. Do you have an electric can opener? You can open a can of some food for him.
I don't have an electric one. I buy the cans with the pull top.
That's the right answer. I was testing you there just to see. Oh man, it's great. It's the weekend finally, Thomas. That is awesome. Matthew, if you're eating some cheese right now, watching the show, so thank you so much for coming on. It's awesome. Do I still have the video, Debbie? I don't. We gave it to the hospital. I think it was Intermountain Healthcare had paid for that one, so I couldn't show it to you. But it was, they have the rights to it. But it was an awful video. I don't think they showed it to anybody either. I got an A in the class. That's what mattered. But
can we buy that from you so we hide it and it doesn't get produced?
We just need to bury that one deep in the archives. There are some other videos out there with me on them. A Western film from when I was a kid. Did I tell you about that one?
I don't think so.
I made a Western film as a kid. It was a scouting activity, and we went into a bar. We talked a bar into letting a bunch of kids in. It was just like an old Western bar, had like the swinging saloon doors and everything. They let us go in there and film a couple scenes, but when it was closed, so it was during the day. And out there on the little boardwalk in front of it, we're filming a scene, and it's all ad lib because none of us had like written any lines. And so we find these beer bottles on the ground, and we're pretending to drink. And one kid tipped the bottle up and just dumped alcohol.
Oh no!
And family doesn't drink, and so he comes home from this church activity just reeking of beer. We had to explain that, but we made a video. Knife fights, live gunfire, shooting at people's feet.
I kind of remember this
thing on that one. So
didn't you say it was a little bit dangerous because not all precautions were really taken into place?
no precautions.
Yeah, okay, I remember this now. Yeah,
The adult leaders, the cameraman, had no idea we were firing live rounds with a 22 revolver at somebody's feet, pretending to make them dance. We were shooting live rounds at each other. I had a knife fight scene with my best friend, which we did choreograph a little bit, where I had a big hunting knife that I go and pretend to stab him in the back, like a bear hug, but reach around, stab him in the back, and he falls back on the knife. That was the thing. But at the last minute, I lay it flat against his back so it doesn't stab him. We were stupid, and we roll across the knife. It was bad. So another reason I shouldn't have lived to adulthood, but somehow managed to.
I'm happy you're here. Goodness.
Yeah. On that note, have a happy weekend. Nobody do anything crazy that I wouldn't do.
I can see a silhouette behind your green screen going.
Yeah. Seriously.
God, I enjoyed it, my friend.
Awesome. As always, it's been fantastic. This is the best way to kick off the weekend. And Thomas, once again, this is the best idea I've ever had, and it was your idea. So thank you. Thank you so much. You know what I forgot to do through the entire podcast? That right there.
Oh, it's the Not Relevant Podcast.
It's Not Relevant Podcast, in case you didn't know. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate all of you being here. Hope you all have a great weekend. I'm planning on it. I know, Thomas, you've got some good things going on.
Absolutely exciting times.
We'll see each other on Monday.
We will.
And how the week goes, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
But it's going to be good. Have a great weekend to all of y'all. To those across the pond who are staying up way too late, get some sleep. Get some rest this weekend. Yep. Thanks so much for being here. You guys are amazing. All of you, you're witty, you're fun, you're the best people I know. Thank you so much. This is the best community in the world. So Ivan says I'm off to watch Warrant and serve some drinks, I think, as well, Ivan, if I remember correctly. Good weekend. All right, anything else, Thomas?
That's all I got. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We got the best group, and I hope everyone has a great weekend.
Awesome. Have a good one. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.